All right, well, welcome to CA231 Interpersonal Communication here in the fall of 2012. We'll be meeting here in Dana 22, 2:15 to 3:30, Tuesday, Thursday, for the next couple of weeks, and I'm really excited about this course. Many of you, perhaps most of you, have already taken the CA111 public speaking type course here at Defiance, and that is the sort of generally required communication course for college students throughout the country. But in fact, I personally believe that this course, interpersonal communication, is a much more important, much more valuable course for college students to take, and should be just as required as the other course. So you've made a wise choice, whether you're forced to make that choice or not, to take this class. And we're going to be focusing on interpersonal communication, which is typically taught in terms of how you and I, or each other, would communicate. It's what they call a dyad, two people coming together. But we're going to be taking it beyond to relational communication as well. And in relational communication, we're going to be focusing on how a variety of other factors like society and larger groups impact our ability to make the choices that we do and the way in which we choose to communicate, even one-on-one. So this is an exciting class. I think we're going to have a lot of fun with it. And I wanted to take some moments now to tell you a little bit about what we're doing before I let Professor Dries go over the syllabus in a little bit more detail with you. But I did want to stress a couple of things early on right now, and that is one, you need the textbook. Textbook here is Rethinking Relationships by Steve Duck. Got a lot of fun stories about Steve Duck. And this is an interesting book by him, and we'll get into why it's interesting, because he sort of takes a philosophical change in the book, and you won't know about that, and I'll try to convince you to care as to why it's important, but it is important. So it's important that you have the textbook. It is not very big. I chose a cheaper textbook. It's only got 200 pages on it. We're going to be digesting it very slowly, so you will be expected to read a couple pages a night. It's not a lot. But one of the other things that you will be expected to do is a group activity, and this group activity will be relatively extensive and a big part of your grade. You can't really have interpersonal or relational communication if we're not relating interpersonally and communicating. And as I said in the introductory video, we're going to be focusing on links between media. One of the more common assignments for this class is to watch a television or watch a movie and say, okay, well, I saw this concept in the book, then it was applied in the movie, and this is what happened. And that's boring. It's a one-off assignment. It's not very fun. And so I hate reading those papers. Students hate writing those papers. So we're going to do it a little bit different this time. This time we're going to be working in groups, and throughout the semester we're going to be watching a television series, all right, in the groups. So when we meet again next time, we're going to be working to have sort of a speed dating, to pick our groups, to find our groups. So that'll be fun and exciting. And you'll find the groups in the class, and together you'll choose a television show to focus on. Obviously, the things that will be important is that there's interpersonal communication, there's relationships going on, and that you all are willing to watch the show. So there's a lot of different ideas, whether it's from The Walking Dead to How I Met Your Mother. I'll put some limitations on it, but we'll see what you come up with before I shoot you down. But hopefully I don't have to shoot you down too much. The other thing you should be aware of is there will be some supplemental material not found in the textbook that I provide you on Moodle. I was hoping to have that done by now, but as you can see, being in the hospital will limit the ability to really develop a strong Moodle site. There are some assignments that will be done on Moodle as well. Those aren't up now, but don't worry, I've already they're pushed slightly back a couple weeks. So they'll be perfectly fine and set up for you, and we'll be able to talk about how to access that online. So you will need to be able to access Moodle, and so that's important. The other thing I really wanted to stress is interpersonal communication is a course that means we have to talk about some very sensitive issues at times. And because of that, I want you as students to understand, both online and in the classroom, we have a safe space. This space will be safe between all of us. Sometimes we feel things, we say things, and we hurt people, and we won't mean to even in the class or online. And it's going to be natural sometimes during the class for people to respond to that, perhaps negatively. We want to take the opportunity in the class to be understanding of one another, to try to understand where these ideas are coming from. That being said, though, we typically tend to live in a world where at the end of the day, you said your piece, you said your piece, they're both good, let's move on. That's not how it's going to be, because that's not how the world really functions. All right, at the end of the day, one idea might outweigh the other. One thing might not be appropriate, and we need to talk about why it's not appropriate and work to understand everyone in the classroom why that is. So while it's going to be a safe space, we do have to understand that not every idea is going to be treated equally as valid. That being said, there's nothing wrong with how we come into things. It's more the output of the course that we're focusing on. So I hope this is an opportunity. Essentially what I'm saying is we're all going to need to have a lot of open minds at every point in the semester, and we're going to be working towards making a very strong group of people who know how to communicate interpersonally and relationally. And that's very important for the classroom, this classroom, and your life beyond. Again, as I said, Dr. Duck here has written a book that is really a good opportunity to explore relational and interpersonal communication from a variety of different perspectives, and it's going to be an exciting opportunity for you to sort of figure out that you don't have as much control over your relationships as you think you might do. It's a hard lesson to learn when you're younger, and I remember thinking that when I was an undergrad myself. I had so much control over relationships, and as I sit back, I realize I didn't have much control over it either. There's a lot of other factors going on, so it'll be fun to see your eyes wide open about those opportunities, and I think you'll enjoy it. Professor Dries will go over the rest of the syllabus for you, including some of the major assignments. We will have, like I said, a couple of that group project. Weekly participation will be important. We'll have a couple exams, but I don't typically do exams traditionally, so we'll talk about that later on. There'll be some discussion board homework kind of assignments that we deal with. And the final project for this will be a relationship analysis paper where really I'm going to ask you to take what you know about what we've talked about this semester and really dissect a relationship or relationships that you have. And I'm going to challenge you for this. Perhaps at the end of the day, your project will be to terminate a relationship that you just know you don't need, or grow the courage to form one that you do know you need and you just never had the courage to do before. So hopefully this will be a fun, challenging, exciting course. And again, it's one of the more important ones you'll take in college. So I'm excited for this opportunity, and I look forward to working with you throughout the semester. So I'll take it to Dr. Duck here. Make certain that you pick up that book. All right. Make certain that I don't know why I keep calling him Dr. Duck. I've never met him. Dr. Duck sounds funny to me. I don't know. Donald Duck. Anyway. So make certain you go pick up Dr. Duck's book. If you haven't done so already, the readings will start next week. In the meantime, Professor Dries here will be going over the rest of the syllabus for you. Thank you very much for listening to me, and I look forward to meeting you soon. All right, thanks. Have a nice class. Have a good first day of class, and enjoy your time. Forgot to hit stop. That's kind of a dumb way to end it anyway. How do you end a video like that? See, there you go. How do you relationally end a video to a bunch of people you don't met? Well,